Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? My name is Varanus, and welcome to Gather the Medicine on the Fun Park. This is Outlast Trials, not an invasion episode. We're doing one of the custom trials that was being featured. This custom trial has Bomb Countdown and Jaeger as the two big threats. It also has both versions of everything being locked, meaning your doors are all padlocked, most of the doors at least, and most items are going to be inside of locked containers. Health, sickness, and permanent damage, so you're going to have a bunch of those health pills that you're going to need to take to actually have some health. And then, what was the last one? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. There's 8 total. Let's see. Jaeger, strengthened enemies 2, I believe it was. The health pills, the locked containers, bomb countdown, and can't remember what the last one was off the top of my head, but it doesn't really matter. Dual secondary objectives. That's right, I forgot, because I have to get the evidence and I have to destroy the radio. Those are my 2 secondary objectives that I was given. Secondary objectives were meh. And dual secondary objectives is really not that hard of a variator. The only thing I wish you could do is when you select that variator, I wish you could select which dual secondary objectives spawned. You don't have to announce it like to the players when they select the map, but like when you're in the editor, I wish you could manually choose which ones, because then that also would help to dictate the challenge. You know, if I say dual secondary objectives, but it spawns presents and rats, then you're just like, well, shit, this is a quick collect mission. But if I was able to manually have it be evidence box and put out the fires, now you're going to be running around with heavy boxes in the middle of a challenge, which would be fantastically difficult, and I would love it. So let's talk about the major things that are important with this challenge. What is everybody's initial fear of the most challenging aspect of it? And then second, what is the actually most challenging aspect of these custom trial? Well, obviously, the first thing everyone immediately fears is they hear the word Jaeger and they think, oh, fuck, this is terrible, this is horrible, why would anybody want to play this? That's the first thing anybody says. And let's be honest, the Jaeger is really not that dangerous. The Jaeger is my favorite of all the elevator enemies that can spawn. If you don't know, the elevator is the little Murkoff doors that you can see. That's where the invaders come in through. But most importantly, the elevators is where any elevator-based enemies will spawn. Now, what are elevator-based enemies? Glad you asked. So when you are playing with no variators, you have equal chances, truly, of spawning either a pusher or an imposter, with a lesser chance of spawning a pitcher, and a one time in the trial chance, as far as I understand, it's only once in the trial, to spawn a Jaeger. It's not guaranteed to spawn. As far as I know, there's no like rules on like the time, but as far as I can tell, it's a very rare spawn. And when it does spawn, you only get one in a trial. You will never get a second one to spawn at a later time. Somebody can correct me if they've seen it spawn multiple times without the variator Jaeger and utilizing rooms that force the Jaeger to despawn itself. But focusing on the main aspects of this, it's like of the Jaeger, it's one of the easiest. You never have to, it's like you're never gonna have it respawn someplace where you're right in the middle of working. It's always following behind you. You know, I describe it as the, if you've ever read the silly meme stories on the internet about the snail. It's like, you are invulnerable, you can never die, but if this snail touches you, it instantly vaporizes you. Like, it instantly kills you. This snail is endless, it'll never die, it'll always be chasing after you. You know, you could drown it, you could anything, and it will never, ever go away. Right? Like, yeah, the snail. That's basically what the Jaeger is. It is that snail. It moves slowly, but it is controllable in what it does, because it will always follow you to the closest pathway. So if you know that you're curving kind of around in a circle, it's going to come through and try and cut you off in a different pathway. Ironically, I use this a lot because I don't run Smash, and so I use it to have the Jaeger bust open the co-op doors for me. Like, why grab a partner when I have a free partner from the game? Like, it's fantastic. Jaeger is by far one of the best elevator enemies that you can have spawn. Every once in a while, bullshit happens with the Jaeger. That's why I run evasive maneuvers. Joking, I actually just run evasive maneuvers because I just prefer running that, because sometimes I get unlucky and get grabbed by enemies when I'm far enough away from this locker. I'm not going to get hit by the Pouncer, and the Pouncer just, for whatever reason, magically I step 1 pixel too close to it. And I'm like, really? So that's why I run evasive maneuver. So that's the first thing that everyone's going to focus on. And then the second thing they're going to focus on is like, oh my god, bomb countdown. Bomb countdown, that's terrifying. I've got less than 5 minutes to be able to complete a trial, but I can recharge that. Like, what am I supposed to do? You play the trial, and you just go fast. It's one of the most beautiful things about Bomb Countdown is that it's forcing players who are new to learn the fact that the game is fast-paced. You can take it slow, but the slower you take it, the more you're going to burn through your resources and probably die. Bomb Countdown forces these new players to have to learn, hey, I need to just start going, and I need to use my resources very, very, not sparingly, but just use them. Because if I use them and I get through to my objective, then I'm in a good position. I don't need to use them and dash away and then use them and dash away. I need to use them and go forward. And Bomb Countdown is actually a variator that teaches that. So this is a really good thing for new players, and veteran players that, myself or people who have way thousands more hours than I do, they're going to be fine. The Bomb Countdown means nothing. It's literally the most pointless variator, if that makes sense. Not really pointless. Obviously you have to deal with it, but it's not scary. The variators that are actually really the problem is the locked doors, and then the combination of permanent health damage and health sickness. Now, let's go over both of those in part. Why is the permanent health damage and health sickness a problem? Well, for one, it makes you one shot at the beginning of the trial, and then enemies can damage you, and healing does nothing. Using the healing rig does not heal you if you permanently lose health. If you're halfway into a bracket, sure, you can start your healing back up to fill up that bracket, but that doesn't put you back at 4 health. It puts you back at 3 health. And that's a problem. You don't want to ever be in a position where you're losing permanent based health. So because of that, you want to use those health pills, and you want to be on top of your health. And with the stronger enemies combo on top of that, that means that most enemies are going to hit you for 2, 3, or 4 brackets of health. They're really, really potent. So that's something you got to worry about there. And then adding on the locked doors. Locked doors, really not a problem, because there is a requirement in the game's code that every single pathway between rooms, there must be at least one that is open. So you'll never find a room that is completely locked off unless it's locked off for a story beat, right? If for a story aspect it's locked so you can't get in there, but then afterwards it unlocks so you can go over there, that's a different story. But beyond that, it's fine. It's a challenge in this because you've got Jaeger and Bomb Countdown on top of it, because sometimes you'll go down a pathway and then you'll realize that the only door out of that area is behind you, so now you have to bait the Jaeger into the area, jump around it, and then you can leave, and that can sometimes take 15 to 20 seconds. So it definitely is a very terrifying combo, but as you can see here, I take 1 instance really of damage, and that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the dialogue about it. I give this challenge a 6 out of 10. It is simple yet effective. Yeah, I have no quarrels with it. I think the creation was very good. Thank you all for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.